Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman, and we are watching another tournament game here between xVoddka X playing for Full Faction Forsaken Waste Zombies, and then Reaper, who has advanced to the next round, playing Full Faction Underdepths Bach. And today you will be having a very special guest, the boss, the head honcho, the big kahuna himself, Alakhami. Everybody clap. Yes, Alakhami is here with us commentating, and he specifically requested this because he's a big fan of the new Bach. He's been playing them quite a lot, and he did want to give his thoughts on the theme and the matchups while the game is going. So I'll hand it over to him. We're both watching the game right now. Not much has happened quite yet. xVoddka did happen to mulligan his first turns, and right now we're getting into the good parts. So Alakhami, what are your thoughts on the game that we're watching now, Bach maybe as a theme?
Well, the map is advantageous for xVoddka. I assume he chose the map. Last match against Tacticals, I believe in the first match he chose the map as well. And, well, this is generally one of the best maps for FW, just due to its sheer size.
Right.
So, yeah, he has, I think he understands that, well, naturally as zombies, you are a bit more, even with this examp, you're a bit slower than most other decks, so you need enough room to build up. And on this map you have 4 or 5 rounds of deploys before combat happens. And here, like, even going second turn, he's already the first one to do the pokes. So he's in a pretty good spot. And Reaper, he only his Enforcer is one of the key units against range and in general to get the phalanx going. So him having it as 4th deploy cuts off his tempo a bit. So I suspect it will be quite difficult for Reaper. But that Enforcer, it has prestige, so it will be quite nice against Morrigan, both against the Siren Song and Flourish that she has.
Right, and a bash as well.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. The Bach Warden is already kind of in swarming range. I would have maybe preferred battle him on the Morrigan, but swap makes her fairly cheap. She can swap the Dead Fairy in for a double hit maybe. And then maybe like an Elserai Bazaar to get that last Lost Queen tap for a kill. But Masochist may kind of foil that. Early Camaraderie was nice. All of Reaper's other champs were a little bit cheaper. And then, yeah, definitely the Enforcer is going to be the key here if Reaper wants to make any progress. Sever Summons, of course, being pretty good against zombies. I mean, it doesn't kill the swarms outright, but it does offer some recourse if xVoddka does happen to get going. And then, yeah, just Prestige, ruining all of what Morgan has to do. Although here, I'm pretty sure walking into range will not remove the effects on the Mistress.
Oh, it will. It will with Prestige.
It will?
Yeah,
okay.
I think xVoddka did. Yeah, I think he didn't realize that the Enforcer has Prestige, so he kind of blundered on that one. Morgan is gonna die next turn, and he's gonna get a very juicy double tap from Gatekeeper, so everything will have +2 defense globally.
Right, from aid. Yeah, I did not fancy Morgan's chances here versus that Prestige. I mean, he doesn't even... Reaper doesn't even need spells in this case. He can just hit with everything. But, I don't know, Lost Queen with the Entangle? Nah, Mistress has 1 to 2 range. So, yeah. Morgan most likely gonna die.
I don't know what he's doing.
I think...
a bit of an awkward turn.
Yeah. And the Herder doesn't do too much for him either. I guess it gives his reinforcements a little bit of extra EP, maybe like encumber that Arbiter with the charge, but wasn't really needed for the Morrigan kill anyway.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird out of 10, isn't it?
Wondering maybe like a Grimwell could have saved the Morrigan here, but that obviously didn't come down. Yep, there go the conditions. So Mistress is free to hit as she pleases. I guess Absorb kind of cuts into the damage there, but he's actually going to go for the Lost Queen. That throw axe. Yes.
Maybe he can pull off a double kill.
Possible, yeah. Bog Warden can't really hit, and yeah, Mistress has to move in. 15, man, Underdepth's high damage, kind of screwing him over there. If he was like a little less, he could have let Rend finish it off.
I think superiority goes here pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a perfect kill on Queen, and Morrigan dies as well.
Yep. Okay, he goes for the arrow shot. Globe. And yeah, some kind of spell for the Queen. Corpse.
In terms of matchup, I think, well, on most maps, Bok would be more favored. On maps where there's less spaces towards the midfront and where there's less room to openly kind of build up, because well, when the zombies are a bit cramped up, I think it's quite difficult to micromanage all of them, especially when you have Flesh Weaver out and there's a lot of summons. And yeah, so something like Ruins of Valdek or the Kfir Hill. No, not Kfir Hill, the Kfir map with the river.
Yeah, the river. I think it's just called Kathir Forest. Maybe it's Kathir Forest. Yeah, I know what one you're talking about. I'm sure everybody knows.
Yeah.
The river map.
Yeah. That one would be very like in a generic kind of draw, and where both players have relatively good draws. It should be a relatively easy win for Bok. Just because of the close proximity of the farm. You deploy Enforcer, you can get Command Dodge very quickly set up before combat begins. You have Mistress with Fascinate. You send her in, she pulls everything towards her. And zombies don't really have much time to even get the ration going.
Yeah,
true. So far he seems to be getting a slight advantage just from retaliating from that failed power turn, so but we'll see how it goes.
He definitely did capitalize on that. Vodka can't really contest safely here. It looks like he's just gonna, well, I guess Corpse Golem can walk in the back, but the head of Asarius finishing the Lost Queen off in lieu of a spell, although Despoil, I mean, Despoil doesn't seem that useful versus Vox, since I don't tend to crutch on spells as much. But getting that globe there, and I would have maybe liked to see Corpse Golem put on that, but I guess positioning him behind that font is a little bit safer. I really like the new combo of Crypt Guardian plus Skull of Decay. I think the new Skull really fits well into zombies. I think it just has a really nice suite of abilities, kind of facilitating the disease playstyle that they got going. But here's the Helm of Chaos, taking away Absorb, whatnot. That corpse is still haggling with the Arbiter up there, delaying the reinforcements really nicely.
Yeah, that's quite crazy. A summon delaying an 18 aura 7-speed champion, just like that.
There was some talk earlier on the Discord of maybe nerfing the summons and turning them into tokens in the same way that we changed Ash, the Bandit Prince. Because now that, of course, his summons are like 25 HP, they're not real champions anymore. What do you think about that in terms of zombie nerfs?
Well, summons have always been an issue with this game. I'm not so sure. It's something. Oh, I've noticed the talk in Discord, but I haven't really thought about it too much yet. It's I'm not sure if it's not just the Z-Zap being a problem. Like I don't remember complaints on the summons like in relation to generic zombies. So I think it's more a matter of them being summons and then them being capable of dealing like 12 to 15 damage.
Right. I think I'm kind of in agreement there. Disease amp itself being being the main issue. The easy access of vulnerability disease on top of how easy it is to get 50% amp turns the summons from basically useless walls of meat into legitimate damage threats in a lot of cases. It might
is it
also
that easy to amp up? Is it really that easy though? Like,
I think if you structure your deck,
I think a lot on that. Like, if you look at the match right now, well, xVoddka would have had 20% if it wasn't for the confuse, but currently he has only 10% amp.
Right. I maybe would argue 30% if he didn't bungle the power turn and run the Lost Queen in, but still, yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, I think I would say it's easier than most amp themes to provide or get to 50% amp compared to something like, I don't know, Frost or Acid Amp, where I think Acid Amp is a unique case because that it comes with a lot of cheap equips that can just be thrown down. But Sabotage, for example, I think is like 6 Nora, and Corrupting Aura is even cheaper than that. But the
I think Corrupting Aura is like 7. It's either
7?
5 or 7.
Yeah, something like that. That was a nice heal on the corpse. Yeah, the Disease Amp has a lot of additional synergies, like with Hunter and Forsaken Exploit. I've been really liking Revel in Misery, actually, on stuff like Necrotor. Just because it's like cross-map healing. Like, you can have split fights a lot easier, whereas normally with zombies you want close, like condensed fights. But the Arbiter here is looking very aggressive, positioning into that Vodka's font. And Corpse Golem, probably not long for this world either. Maybe we'll even go down this turn? Oh, and actually, yeah, Reaper takes the game. So Vodka not able to recover from that, from that lost turn.
Too many mistakes on Vodka's part. Like, starting from the Morrigan, then the failed kill on Gatekeeper on Anathema. I think he had a kill on Warden, but he chose to ignore her for whatever reason. She was like at 7 HP at the back.
Right.
One hit with Dead Fairy and she would have been dead, I think.
Draws might have come into play there. He did end up mulliganing his first turn, which we weren't there for. But the second game here going to go up soon, I'm hoping. Yeah, it looks like Reaper says he's making one. Yeah, so that's one win to Reaper.
Vodka was probably taken a bit by surprise after yesterday's game. Was it yesterday? No, I think it was the day before tomorrow. Day before that day. Probably because of how relatively easy it was to start snowballing on that map. But
but that was versus Slags.
The big difference
compared to
that's the big difference. That's the big difference because Slags, like, they have a pretty slow build up, and Bok aren't exactly fast, but they're substantially faster to.
And they're just greater damage threats they're just greater damage threats in the early game as well, which zombies don't necessarily have the units to handle. Like, individually...
Well, they have Corpse Golem.
Yeah, Corpse Golem's a good one.
He doesn't have a problem with meleeing Corpse Golem.
Right, so. Like, you can... They pretty much win all melee engagements. I haven't seen the new Abomination, actually, in any of the zombie decks. I guess that's because he doesn't have any disease synergy, and disease has kind of been the focus of zombies. But I feel like Abomination, maybe with Resolute, would make things a little easier.
Yeah, I feel like the hype for Disease Amp is not gonna die anytime soon. But I've tried Abomination. He seems quite decent for the Nora cost, and he can be quite scary.
For sure.
Oh, there we go. Speak of the devil.
Kathir Hill map. No, the way the tournament works is it the loser picks the next map, or how does the map choice function?
They take turns. Like the first map is chosen by the guy with the lower elo, and then they just take turns.
Okay, so it's the next one. So I'm guessing XVoddka picked. Hold on, let me just. Oh, I can't hover over it in observer mode. I'm guessing XVoddka picked that map, and then Reaper picked this one, knowing exactly what you were describing earlier. So there's the new Wretched Witch. Great little rune. I kind of have a soft spot for her since I was I had a big hand in her redesign. But yeah, she seemed. I really like that. I really like her upgrades now. Revere.
Bit of a weird first time deploy.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I guess. Okay. Well, there's Meredith. So I guess XVoddka knew something we didn't. He ended up mulliganing again. That's interesting. Twice in a row. Draw's not favoring him today. But I mean, he got the Meredith Witch combo. So. And Meredith is definitely one of the few that could withstand melee for a bit into Bach. Breath from range, horrific aura.
Yeah, I'm quite curious how this will play out. It's a bit of a weird opening because I've never seen Meredith being deployed so early. It's usually like 5th, 6th, or 7th deploy.
Yeah, even with the 10% discount, that is a hefty tempo hit you're taking early on because XVoddka didn't deploy this turn and. He's blocking the Guardian for now, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Guardian just fly his way into that font later on. Well, I guess Reaper has other plans.
Yeah, I would have probably positioned Guardian a bit more ambiguously. So like, I can move into the Mandriff or I can move into your font. He just decided to go to ignore the font.
Right.
To ignore the ambiguousness. The thing I don't like about first turn Wretched Witch deploy is that she's a passive champion. She's obviously good at stalling, but you'd want some meat on the board, and sending your Meredith to frontline. Yeah, she has horrific aura, but that'll last only for one turn. And after it fades off, it'll be quite difficult for him to keep building up.
True. And I think a commander deploy here could maybe screw the horrific aura stall quite a bit for XVoddka.
Oh, you mean Enforcer?
Oh yeah, Enforcer, sorry. Because of prestige. Prestige. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see. I mean, she's pacified now, so Meredith kind of has to back to the back of that font and wait for reinforcements. Hex one space out of range, sadly, and kind of wait. What? Oh yeah, so he's gonna rely on horrific aura without remembering the prestige from earlier. And it pulls her out of the font too. So
costume. And there it goes.
And there's the
there it goes.
Rest in peace. Yeah, and even the warden can walk around 4 spaces and get in range there. 2 hits from Guardian. Actually, yeah, and wow, Reaper takes another one just like that. Ooh, that was not a good showing by XVoddka, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So 2-0 for Mr. Reaper, and you doubted Reaper. You were like, man, I don't know if Bach are gonna make it to the next round. But nah, they.
Well, he was doubting himself. I believe in Reaper. I believe him. Like he's one of those players that kind of undervalues how good he can be. Not that he's amazing or anything, but he's a fairly solid player. I think he's improved over the past few years.
For sure.
Like he's expanded his factional horizons. He's played quite a bit of different things from like AF, FS, ST, and whatnot. Been trying to get good, as they say.
True, yeah. I've noticed his attitude sort of taken improvement as well. Just the fact that the kind of player he used to be on the Discord, like raging and talking about how much he hated everything. Like he was kind of a character in the past, but he's a little bit mellower now. He knows when to when his emotions should take a back seat, and I like the character development on that side. But new Noraglades map for XVoddka here. And this is playing into his deck strengths this time. hopefully he can secure a win on this one.
Well, I'm not so sure. I mean, in some sense, yes, this map is advantageous for zombies, but it is a split map, so you won't really get full leverage of Flesh Weaver, which we'll have to. I think at some point you'll just have to focus on one font or the other.
Right.
And maybe that's why he sent Korag to the bottom.
Now, Korag first turn. I mean, he's first player as well. That's going to kind of restrict his deploys for the next turn. And I'm wondering if somehow Reaper can. Okay, well, I was thinking maybe he could squeak in a double deploy with Guardians, but nah. Korag gonna take here, and I wonder. Yeah, see, he didn't even have the Nora for another champion.
Yeah, we're going first turn. Yep. He has enough room to. He doesn't need to contest the font immediately.
I wonder what we're gonna see.
What I would have been afraid if I deployed Korag versus Bok was an immediate Voidraker. Because the first ability that Voidraker would delete would be Double Trouble.
Yeah, the highest costed upgrade or ability. Yeah, so Korag would just lose like a huge chunk of his value there, just not being able to recontest the font with.
He would lose like 40 HP of his value.
Right. Yeah, I haven't actually, well, in these games at least, I haven't seen Reaper deploy Voidraker. Do you know if he runs like it in his deck at all? I would assume he does. Like, there's no way he wouldn't include.
Yeah, he does. Okay. Well, see, Voidraker is it's almost a kind of a tech deploy because of how expensive she is, and it's quite difficult to deploy her on curve early on. You well, what I found is you always like lack from 1 to 5 Nora to for deploying her early, and yeah, it can be since she's not particularly tanky anymore without Void Shield. She can be a risky deploy. She doesn't steamroll everything like she used to in the first 2 weeks of the patch.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had to rein you in a little bit on that one. But I don't know, Reaper going with the reinforcement deploy here, kind of putting the hurt on Vodka. I would honestly maybe expect like the Warden to run in, and let's like force the dead family to.
Oh wait, he's not doing. I thought he deployed it to grab his spawn.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But he's going for the early kill. It looks like superiority. Yep. I mean, Rot Rapper could grab that globe, but I feel like she might.
That's actually a really nice punishment. He punished him, like he deployed that Rot Rapper 6 spaces away from his zombie, so he didn't get a corpse on the kill.
Yeah, I don't think Vodka was expecting that.
Yeah. Well, we weren't expecting it either.
No, not at all.
And there goes the.
Yeah, there's the Voidbreaker down there. We might be seeing an early, the makings of an early 3-0. Reaper actually doing a really good job of putting the hurt on Vodka early on so that he can't focus on that build-up. And Korag down.
Well, I think he understands his win con. He's afraid shitless of what zombies can do once they build up, so he really does not want that to happen. And we've all seen what zombies can do once the app goes rolling.
Yeah. I do like that that zombies have that sort of power fantasy of the late game Steam engine just running everything down. But it's a tricky thing to balance sometimes, because you have to consider that not all like the map rotation might be more favorable to zombies than most other decks, or even just that some players, once they master the deck, can do things with it that players didn't expect, and you have to temper their expectations. How have you found, like being the balance leader for as long as you have you found managing the balance between balancing for upper echelons of play and lower ones?
Well, I think that distinction, that division, is somewhat exaggerated. It seems more of a myth to me. In some sense, I mean, obviously, there's a very big difference in how players of different skill level play the game, and like you'd see guys that don't play the game very well. They're like, oh, we need more detection, more
counters, like direct counters.
More counters, yeah, things like that, and just sometimes some very odd requests that are difficult to grasp. Why would you need that in the first place? But I think at the end of the day, there's a very basic level of efficiency that all champions have, and I mean not efficiency in the meta sense of the word, like you pick this champ because like it's really good within this context of the meta, or like it's just a really strong champion. But I mean like in terms of the numbers and how they work, like 10 damage, 50 HP, 1 range or 45 range, things like that. And as long as you diversify the upgrades, so different type of people can pick different type of upgrades that are suited for their decks and for their playstyles and for their skill level. Usually it'll be fine. So some builds are more complex than others. Like if you look at Void Mage, for example, it has one of her upgrades. Well, 2 of her upgrade lines focus more on her relocate aspect with swap rank 3 and confused enemy. So you gain maximum leverage from just teleporting around, hitting shit, and then relocating back, and you just keep swinging that and doing loads of things with her. But I know that some people struggle with that. I know that most people prefer, for example, Truckbow with precision instead of confused enemy, even though confused enemy in my eyes is absolutely the superior upgrade that offers consistently lots of room for you to play with her. Oh, 1 sec.
Yep, sure. And oh man, Alakhami left at precisely the wrong moment. He was on a roll there with his little ramble, but Reaper did end up taking the game off of Vodka after that magnificently executed price of victory, and then stealing double trouble from Korag as anticipated with the Void Raker. So Reaper 3-0 will be moving on to the final round versus, I believe, Flying Finn. But that remains to be seen in the Discord. Oh, yeah, Alakhami's back. Yeah, so Reaper took the game. No problem. Yeah, Reaper ended up taking the game while you were away there. Vodka thrown in the towel, realizing that his situation was looking grim. Yeah, that'll be that bracket for the tournament. Yeah. And yeah. So what did you think of Box showing there? Mm-hmm.
Well, Reaper seemed to have full control of all 3 of the games and just did very precise deploys and turns. I didn't notice any mistakes. He did a good job.
I concur. It was a great...
He punished Vodka first 2 games quite effectively as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Really capitalized on those mistakes. Yeah, thanks so much for joining me for the commentary aspect of this. I would like to have you back for the finals with I believe Flying Finn is playing against Reaper now for the finals, and then the after finals where the winner of that match will get to play against you and for the chance to win bonus rewards.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, there's plenty. I didn't expect the games to finish so quickly. I was expecting to ramble for a bit longer, but yeah,
Neither
we can
did I,
leave
to
it
be
for
honest.
that.
But hey, you
Until
can
then.
ramble in the next video because Bach are indeed moving on to the finals. So we'll have plenty of time to have you back, and it was a pleasure having you on the channel. So thanks very much for donating your time, Alakhami.
My pleasure.
Okay, and that'll be it for this video. So thanks to everyone for watching, and we will see you in the next one.